What's up? This is So Dope 95, and you're watching Untapped Hip Hop TV.
My name is A.C.E. I'm from New York, more specifically Strong Island, New York, Long Island for those of y'all who don't know. And I rap, I songwrite, I sing if I have to. I'm a recording artist. I get it done by any means necessary. So what got me into hip hop, I probably was like the 2 seconds between my mom's changing stations. Like she used to like go for all of the like pop stations and shit like that. So she would be turning them every once in a while. She would pass by like Hot 97 or something like that, and like that would always catch my ear. You know what I'm saying? And then man, from there I got MTV. I got a TV that actually had cable once I was like 11. You know what I'm saying? So like now I was able to like get into it, watch videos and all of that. So it allowed me to really fall in love with the culture. And then from there, when I went to middle school, that's when like I started meeting cats who was really rapping and like having ciphers. And that's when like I just seen like my homie, who wasn't my homie then, he's my homie now. He was just in the middle of the cipher tearing shit down. And from that moment, I was like, I want to be the dude in the center. I want to be the dude in the center of the circle. I want that energy. So that's pretty much what got me into hip hop. And I started spitting other people's rhymes because I didn't know how to write rhymes yet. So I only knew how to rap, but I didn't really know how to write rhymes. So I started like, it's like before the internet. So I thought I could like, you know, bite some rhymes from here, from there that some people didn't know or whatever, until I went and I bit a rhyme from Most Def. And somebody caught me slipping. And I hated that feeling. I never wanted to go back to it. So from then on, when I was like 14, it was like always writing the rhymes now. And after that, I started recording myself. My homie who lived around the block from me, E, he started recording me, and I kind of mocked his setup, started recording myself. And from there, man, the rest was history. When I started writing my first rhymes, I was still kind of biting. So like my favorite rapper at the time was Tupac. He's my favorite at the time, and I listened to him the most. So when I would write my rhymes, like they were like really like these from the gut, even if it was a great thing, like, you know what I'm saying, type of flows. And like the first things that I would get when I started recording back then was people be like, "Oh, you sound just like Tupac, and it was something like I kind of like eventually broke away from, but that was how I started writing. I started writing by like taking flows that I enjoyed and just putting my own words to them, you know what I mean? And on the artist side, I would say Michael Jackson is probably my first and foremost inspiration. I had to say second, right after the Beatles. So like the first album I ever heard was the Beatles' Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. And that, like, I didn't know it at the time, but that blew me away. Like, there was so much different things happening that when they did it, it was cutting edge. And then by the time I heard it, I'm still like, this is funky. Like, this is different. It's like when you a kid, the world is just shapes and colors and sounds. So that album, I gravitated to it because it was just sounds. Like, it was just these sounds that didn't necessarily have a pinpoint, you know what I'm saying? Like, you couldn't say that's what make that sound. Like, little did I know afterwards, like, it's a big chunk of that album, they literally cut the tape up, re-spliced it together, and was like, hey, whatever it sounds like, that's gonna be the interlude. So that was like my first thing in the music sonically that I can remember. And then quickly thereafter, I discovered Michael Jackson, and it was a rap. Like, I wanted to be Michael Jackson, I wanted to dance like Michael Jackson. Only thing I don't think I had the ambition for was singing like him, but, you know, I performing, that was my main inspiration. And then, like I said before, Pac was my rap inspiration and like my lyrical inspiration. And when I first started writing my rhymes, like I really not just modeled after his flow, but his idea of having a message and having like a main thought when you rap, and not just rapping to rap. You know what I'm saying? I've always loved like punchline rappers and stuff like that. But when I first started getting into rap, like I was really against that type, because not against, but I more favored story told rap, or some type of rap with some kind of message in it, or some type of beginning, middle, and end to it. At the time that I was getting into hip hop, to me, I had to think about when I was in school. So I'm biracial. My mother is black, my father is white. So the way that kind of like played out in my school years was I was too black for the white kids and too white for the black kids. You know what I'm saying? So to me, it was about fitting in, acceptance. You know what I'm saying? So acceptance was always my big thing. I'm like, this is something I do well. You know, it started with like somebody called me slipping with my rhymes. So it was like, and I grew up in New York, where it's like you can't, or at least at that time, you even if you wanted to rap just to be famous, there had to be a level of authenticity to it. You had to have a level of skill. So to me, part of that was like knowing the history, and I ain't have nothing else to do, honestly. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a teenager, come home after school, it's just me and the internet. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and my family. My family's mad cool, but like, you know, you get into that space where you're a teenager, you want to just like zone out, do your own thing, and my own thing was the internet. You know what I'm saying? So I would look up stuff just because I ain't have nothing else to do. You know what I'm saying? And it genuinely interested me. And I always looked at hip hop as this like mythology. You know what I'm saying? Like these people were like superheroes. You know what I'm saying? But the only difference was that like there was a layer of reality to these superheroes. You know, at the time I didn't know a lot of that was manufactured, but the idea of it was that like, yeah, this is it was the closest thing we got to reality stars was a rap star back in the day before reality TV. You know what I'm saying? They parlayed their real life into this fictionalized version of their real life. So for me, I wanted to know about the whole history of it. To me, it was a story. It's like, oh shit, well, who came before Pac and who influenced Pac and what did their music sound like? And you know, then you start getting into beefs and shit like that, and you start figuring out like there's so many different ways. And then like I said, like I got into the beef DVDs and all of that, and that's how I found out about QD3 Entertainment, which I think is Quincy Jones's son or grandson or something like that. And he had put together like these line of hip hop DVDs around the time. I remember one was called like MC, The Reason We Do It, Art of 16 Bars, and they all had like game in them. You know what I'm saying? They all had history in them. So I started learning my history through like the beef side, and then like it eventually just turned into getting the history and learning the history. I went to Syracuse University, and they like had this major communication and rhetorical studies, and it's for jocks, and it's for people like me who applied to really selective programs, and they go, hey, you're not good for the program, but we like you, we think you're good enough for the school, spend your time here, figure yourself out. You know what I mean? And that's what I did. And for the first year and a half, it actually didn't work. I was just like way too invested in the music. I met a homie of mine Gannon Noir, who I still rock with to this day and work with behind the scenes on music and in front of the scenes on music. And yeah, we were really invested in the music shit. Like we got a single popping. We ended up on the campus radio out there, campus magazine, and then they kicked our ass out because our grades sucked. You know what I'm saying? And that I got my shit together and went back. He decided he was just gonna lock in with the music, and it's been happily ever after for him since. And that was that, man. And then once I got back home, it was just like, all right, time to hit the ground running, you know? Time to hit the ground running, get back to it. So I was on academic suspension for 2 semesters. And thankfully, like, my mom's had the foresight to just be like, as soon as they told me I couldn't come back, she was like, yo, you going to community. Like, you're not just sitting out these semesters. And, like, that obviously played into a big part when they decided to re-accept. So I was in a position where I could go back up. And when I went back up, I didn't have the GPA to transfer because my GPA had been fucked up so much by the first year and a half. So what I did was I took a survey to music industry class. So I was able to actually do what you're saying. I was able to lean into the music side to it. And I lucked out because the survey and music industry class was taught by the head of the music industry program there. So he knew me, like, you know what I'm saying? I was first in class all the time. Like, finally, I could have a 3-credit class on shit that interests me. Let's get it. I'm asking all the pertinent questions and shit. So he knew I was very interested. So it was nothing when I would hit him up and be like, yo, here's my story. This is why I can't transfer in the music industry, but this is my last semester and I want to walk away with some music industry knowledge. So he let me into a record production class that he actually taught, and he let me into a studio recording class that another one of his colleagues taught. And it was really cool because I didn't get the whole thing and the whole networking experience, but I got to learn some real cool shit that I wouldn't have learned if I wasn't in a formal education type of scenario. Like, I learned I was a producer. I thought producers just did this shit, and I was like, oh wait, no, the producer get the people in the room together? Oh shit, I do that. You know what I'm saying? And sound recording and shit, I learned like the things that I had learned by ear, I was now learning names for and sciences behind and things like that. So I don't produce my own music per se, but I'll come to my producer with like a sample or something like that, or like depending on what producer I'm working with and how open they are to it. Cause some producers just is like, this is my blue project until I tell you to rap on it. You know what I'm saying? And that's cool. They just work better like that. And then there's other producers like that are really open and shit. So like whenever I'm with a producer that's like super open on like, you know, how we want this to sound or something like that, I get really hands on. Like EP I worked on out here before I even met my producer. I just bought all of the stems off of Airbit. Used to be, what did that website used to be? I think it used to be SoundClick or something like that. Now it's Airbit. Anyway, it's a website where a bunch of rappers, all of the rappers watching know the website. They probably correcting in the comments right now. But it's where everybody used to get their Drake type beats, Future type beats, this type beats and all of that. And I just bought stems. So I would buy the stems and then I would go and load it up in the program and then I'd arrange it. So that's kind of like how I taught myself to arrange and stuff like that, was because I had already like been using wave editors to record myself. So now it's like, oh, now I can mute the snares. Okay, now I can bring them back here, or do that, and create drops that weren't just like the whole beat dropping. So yeah, so I kind of like somewhere in this quasi area of producing. I wouldn't call myself a producer, but I'm definitely like a little bit like I got some skills. I want people to say that A.C.E was the kind of artist that helped them self-identify. You know what I'm saying? And it's a big thing that I really go for in my music, and which is why I do my best to keep my music from the heart and keep it honest and keep it true, because I feel like music is a healing tool to help people self-identify things that they can't articulate within themselves. So like somebody could be feeling something, and like until they hear me talk about my feelings about it, they might not even know until they relate to it. And they hear it and they like, yo, I feel that. Matter of fact, not only do I feel that, I'm going through that. And they can put words to something that they've been feeling, that they or at least in the very least context to something that they've been feeling. And I feel like when you can identify something that you're feeling or identify anything that you're going through, whether it's happy, sad, or whatever, and you can deal with it and you can heal from it or make the most out of it, you know what I'm saying? So I definitely always, in my music, I want people to always look at my music and look at every project and every song and every moment as something that they could like self-identify with, you know? Hone in on whatever you do. I always say that, like if you rap, and when I say that, what I mean is like if you rap, find every opportunity you can to rap. Rap at everyone's studio. If you write, find every opportunity you can to write. Write for everyone. If you mix, so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is. If you act, and don't be afraid to do things for free to build up your credibility, and most importantly, recognize that it may not mean much to you because you're good at it, but you got to remember there's somebody out there that's not good at what you're good at doing. So you have value. Stick to what you know. You know what I'm saying? When you find that you have to pick up other things, make sure that what you're there for, what you do, is intact. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that you're always there, and try as quickly as you can to build a team around you that will do things for you, not because you don't have the expertise, but only because you don't have the time. Because if you're a rapper, you should be in the studio. If you're an engineer, you should be in the studio. Not everybody starts with the army behind them. You have to build up your credibility. However, always remember that your main goal is to be doing what you are good at. You know what I'm saying? That's why people build companies and hire people, because if you do taxes, your nose should be in the taxes. You shouldn't be following up with people, finding that should be somebody else's job. And if you rap, you know, you should be rapping, you should be writing, you should be recording. You know what I'm saying? So whatever it is you do, stick to what you do, put in your 10,000 hours, learn whatever you got to learn outside of that, to where you can train somebody else and say, look, this is what helps my business run and what helps me run as an artist. I need you to manage this, so that way, I learned this yesterday from an old friend of mine that I went to school with. She was doing a web seminar, and or Q&A or whatever you want to call it. And you got to think like, if I were to die tomorrow, could my shit keep sailing without me? So look at yourself like a business, because as artists, we are businesses. We have the most valuable commodity, and that's art, because we don't have to, all it takes is time. And some money, but more or less time. You know what I'm saying? It's one of the few things where you can create something once and sell it 1,000 times. If I want to sell 1,000 phones, I gotta make 1,000 phones. If I want to sell 1,000 albums, I just gotta make one really good album. 3 things I hate is that it's all a show, that you have to work way harder than anybody told you, and that no one in this game is your friend. They are your friend, but not in a way that you think, oh, they're just gonna put me on. Doesn't work. 3 things I love about this industry: it's all a big show. Everybody's in it for themselves, and nobody's really your friend in it. It's kind of the same things. Like once you could figure something out, I'm down for anything I could figure out. So it's like, I feel like when I came out here, like, and I got more in proximity to the industry, and I started like doing writing sessions and things like that, and met my producer, and he kind of like pulled me into these really great jobs, and stuff like that. And shout out to him, because that is a friend in the industry that like I have, and like I won't say everybody and no one in the industry is your friend. However, those would probably be the things I hate and I love about it, because if you know those things, you're good. If you don't know them, you're fucked, and you're gonna be heartbroken, and you're just gonna be like, oh my god, nobody fucks with me, and you're gonna get really self-destructive and shit. But like, I think like the 3 things I love about it are the fact that like I was able to learn those things, and you kind of learn it quick. You get to decide really up front, like, you down or not, you know what I'm saying? And
deep end, right?
You know, and I always tell people to go back to the point of it all being a show. I mean, if it wasn't a show, there would be no me. So like me and a lot of people, a lot of aspiring creatives, we believed that these artists were like special and got discovered because they were so talented, and now they record and they go into a room and they sit down with their notebook and they write about their amazing lives that turn into amazing music. And it's like, no, it's yes, it is a process. It's not that process though, you know? So, but if I would have never thought those things, I would have never taken on the mindset of anything they could do, I could do as well. So when you see somebody and it looks so real, you go, oh shit. It's like the person who watched the magician fly and figured out how to fly and shit. You know what I'm saying? It was like, so it's like you watch all these people and that's the way the story was presented. So if it wasn't for that, if someone would have told me out the gate, no, the artist is the artist, somebody else writes for the artist, somebody else picks who what the artist is gonna write, blah, 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 I would have been a whole different route. I might be signed right now for the worst. You know what I'm saying? Like, with no control over my life or some shit like that. Because I'd be like, oh, that's the route? That's the easy route? Okay, cool. And I would have formed habits and practices that led me to that. But I didn't. I thought it was something else. And because of that, I created value for myself in being a writer. And something that I didn't even know was a commodity. I was able to, like, sit there and learn. And like I said, if these people can rap, then I got to be able to rap. I got to be able to perform. So, you know, and eventually I did it. If these people could freestyle, little did I know a lot of these people spitting their writtens, then I got to be able to freestyle. But I taught myself how to freestyle. Now I can freestyle walking down the block. You know what I'm saying? So it's cool. I think everything that you hate about the game, you got to love about it because you know about it. So now you can work around it. After that, it's on you. Yeah, so people can get in contact with me on my IG. That's probably my most direct line of contact, A.C.E. XXI. They can also hit me up. Well, they can't really hit me up, but they could go download my music at artisticcreativeenergy.com. So if you go to artisticcreativeenergy.com, you can check out my new EP, Fire. You can download it right now. I got a limited edition release, only limited to 100 copies, $10 a pop. And what you're getting basically is a full PDF, digital booklet, lyric sheet, exclusive photos, and also early access on anything I'm doing. So if I do a show, you hearing about it first. If I got something coming up and I want y'all to get tickets and I want y'all to come by and want y'all to come cop, you know about it first. If I got something special that I want to give to the people who just been showing support, y'all get it first. So it comes with an early access season pass as well as future goodies for the rest of the rollout for the foreseeable future of this EP. And yeah, man, they can do that all at artisticcreativeenergy.com. And you know, if you want to stream the project too, there's links right under there. You click Apple if you listen on Apple, Spotify, Tidal, so on and so forth. Find your streaming service and enjoy the music, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's where they can find me. That's where they can get down with it. You know, A.C.E. Homie, fresh about New York, getting fly is like a sport. If the convo ain't about money, then you gotta cut it short. If them dollars ain't the object, homie, I can show support. Dog, I started from the bottom, now I got a little more. Stuck my foot inside the door, show them what I had in store. Now Derek, Blizzy, Sean, and Reezy, y'all show me support. I'm balling on these haters like I'm playing on the court. On the beach with my lady, getting faded by the shore. Homie, you ain't got the balls, I'm about to set it off. The money pouring in, it feel like a waterfall. Having trouble getting in, let me make a couple calls. Homie, I've been dreaming big, my vision was never small. I had to book that plane, I had to do my thing. Oh, this shit is insane. You thinking this a game, fam? All I spit is flames. And what you doing tame? You think that we the same? I'm in a different lane, homie. All I'm about is counting them checks out the gate. I'm winning, you can't relate. In the kitchen baking, now I got the cake. They be saying I'm a fluke, but homie, this ain't no mistake. I'ma be about my business, be a G until I finish. I got me a couple bitches and they fiending for my digits. Middle fingers to them critics. When they speak, I'm hearing crickets. Dummy, your money, your midget. I just clock, I'm digital. I get is big money, big moves. Get the mans right, swerve on them. High speed through the red light. If the head right, I'm with it every night. Everything a nigga do about the bread like make money, make money, make money, take money, take money, take money, make money. Make money, make money. Everything that I do about the bread like A.C.E. and the place to be. Peace.